The financial crisis of 2008 wasn't an economic downturn, it was a watershed moment. America had been using economic might as a bludgeon for decades, forcing the world markets to comply and dictating terms on game rules. But when its system's vulnerabilities came out, a new reality dawned. American supremacy wasn't a given anymore. As Wall Street rebounded and Silicon Valley embarked on its meteoric rise, a subtle competitor was stealthily gaining ground. China, once the economic upstart, had been nurturing its empire in secrecy, reaching out with manufacturing, infrastructure, and aggressive technological advancement. Efforts like the Belt and Road Initiative, China extended further into Asia's mastery over money. The fight was being fought anew now, and America's playbook was being returned to it. But competition wasn't over with trade. The era of the internet came with cybersecurity breaches, spying, and cyber war. Hacking missions, stealing intellectual property, and cyber attacks were the new 21st century weapons. The two nations competed to have artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and surveillance technology, domains that would decide the next superpower. As America continued to lead the way in technological innovation, China was racing to catch up. Huawei and Tencent began pushing back against Silicon Valley, and Beijing spent billions on AI research. The battlefield of the future wasn't on land, sea, or air. It was in data, algorithms, and networks. So therefore, will America be capable of maintaining its hegemony, or is it unavoidably speeding off the precipice of decline? The answer depends on how it reacts to these new threats. The Cold War was a fight of ideology, and the 21st century is a struggle of technology and influence. Next, war is different. The largest wars are no longer being waged with tanks and missiles, but with data, algorithms, and cyber attacks. Cyber warfare has revolutionized national security and positioned hackers and AI systems as the new frontline warriors. The US has been under cyber siege for years, with government offices, companies, and critical infrastructure under constant cyber assault. The 2015 OPM breach, which was allegedly carried out by Chinese hackers, exposed the personal information of millions of US government employees. The 2020 SolarWinds attack, linked to Russian spies, exposed federal agencies and Fortune 500 companies. The assaults revealed a terrifying reality. America's cyber defenses were weak, and its adversaries were exploiting the loopholes. But cyber war is only half the battle. The real battle is for artificial intelligence, AI. America and China are racing to own AI, with autonomous weapons, surveillance capabilities, and deep learning algorithms set to shape power's future. Beijing has been aggressively investing in AI, combining facial recognition, data surveillance, and machine learning into its national security strategy. The US, which is home to tech giants Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI, was the leader in AI innovation, but is now a formidable competitor since China made significant aggressive investments in this area. Technology companies are no longer just businesses, they are global powers that shape war and diplomacy. Silicon Valley AI research centers, cloud computing providers, and cybersecurity firms now constitute the core of America's military. China's Huawei and Tencent, on the other hand, defy Western control and build a digital divide between nations. The battlefield is changing. The question is America able to keep up, or will technological superiority slip out of its fingers, bringing on a new world order? America was holding pace with the new technologies, but there was something else. For centuries, the greatest threats to American supremacy were from beyond its borders. But today, the most dangerous wars are being waged at home. Polarization, economic inequality, and deep social cleavages have produced a crisis that no military power or economic strategy can easily solve. The rise of populism polarized American politics and rendered previously stable institutions ideological battlefields. Donald Trump's 2016 presidency unveiled the cracks of America's deep fault lines, a nation bifurcated along urban and rural, conservative and liberal, elite and working class lines. The government was no longer trustworthy, And Washington was not an institution of stability anymore, but a crooked game against them as far as a significant section of citizens was concerned. Social unrest soon ensued. Protests swept the country, from the Black Lives Matter protests of 2020 to protests over immigration policy, gun control, and economic inequality. The January 6, 2021, storming of the U.S. Capitol was a turning point, proof that the very fabric of American democracy was under siege. Political violence, unthinkable on American soil, had arrived in America. At the same time, the involvement of foreign actors poured oil onto the fire. Russia and China, among others, began running cyber disinformation campaigns, shaping public opinion and polarizing American society. Both the 2016 and 2020 elections witnessed unprecedented levels of digital warfare where social media were employed as the instruments of influence. As America falters at home, the world is watching closely. Is fractured America still strong enough to be the world's superpower, or is America losing strength for America, not by an outside enemy, but due to the divisions within its own home? The question isn't if America can keep ruling the world, it's if it can survive through its own internal strife. Political polarization, economic disparity, and social unrest have divided the country into stark cleavages. America has weathered internal strife before, but the size of today's divisions erodes its ability to lead the world. Unless America can restore unity and faith in institutions, its leadership of the world will irretrievably be lost. But American decline is more than just a matter of domestic decline. Around the world, global power is diffusing, and other friends are waiting to assume America's hegemonic mantle. NATO supplied the cornerstone of Western military power for half a century in policies, and the 2021 U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan does not want to play by U.S.-dominated global rules anymore. While economic sanctions have hurt Russia, they have not stopped its ambitions. If anything, they've drawn it closer to China. Next comes BRICS, an alliance of rising powers: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that aims to counter Western domination. China arranged a peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Iran, and Gulf states are more and more turning towards Russia and China. If Washington can no longer control Middle Eastern politics, its hold on world power is weakened even more. As the world shifts beyond an American-centered order, this much is certain. America is no longer the sole superpower. But will it evolve, or become a relic of the past? The United States has long succeeded based on reinvention, converting crises into opportunities. But this generation's challenges, political polarization, economic uncertainty, and a change in global influence, constitute an experiment unlike any in the past. Can America transform into a multipolar world, or will it break apart under stress from within and without? The solution is in its capacity to reinvest in trust in its institutions, rebuild coalitions, and adapt to the future of technology and innovation. If history teaches us anything, it's that superpowers don't crumble overnight, but they do weaken when they won't adapt. History teaches us that no empire lasts indefinitely. The British Empire, at one time, dominated enormous tracts of land, only to dwindle as other powers arose. Rome was unstoppable until it wasn't. And now the same question hangs over America. Is its preeminence ebbing, or can it buck history and continue as the world's dominant power? And if America does slip from the top, who will take its place?